Hello, what are you reading?
Hi, it's the Holy Qur'an.
But isn't the Quran only for Muslims?
Not at all. Its teachings are addressed to all humanity, from heads of state to everyday people like us.
What does it teach us?
It's a book of life for life. No thinking person should pass through life without it.
Where can I get a copy?
From the IPCI, 124 Queen Street, Durban.
Ansarele Allah Ruri Ritsakohu Allah Huyene Ritabola Roche Ruri Ritsakohu Allah Huyene Ritabola Roche Simuluhung lima felong ridira doa Rari bismillah Moline laha Allah Simuluhung lima felong ridira doa Rari bismillah Moline laha Allah Alhamdulillah Praise be to Allah, Subhanallah, glory be to Allah. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, Subhanallah, glory be to Allah. Surely we belongs to Allah, and to Him is our return. Ruri ritsakohu Allah, huyene ritabola roche. Simuluhung lima felong rebala doa. Rari bismillah, moline laha Allah. Simuluhung lima felong rebala doa. Rari bismillah, moline laha Allah. Jazakallah khair.
On behalf of the Mafeking Muslim community and on behalf of the Islamic Propagation Center, respected ulama, respected visitors, respected audience, brothers and sisters, we want to welcome all of you to this talk, Jesus, Man, Myth or God. We take great pleasure in having you here. This whole program was encouraged and motivated by a group of Muslims in Mafeking, and on behalf of the Muslim community, we want to thank you for being here today, taking the time off. We take this opportunity and welcome our brothers from the Islamic Propagation Center International in Durban. It's a whole group, whole breed of young people who have taken over from the late Sheikh Ahmad Didat. We still have to come to know them, but they are here. The main speaker for today is Brother Yusuf Ismail. He is a practicing attorney in Durban, and he's an independent researcher on religion. So I think he's taking over from Sheikh Ahmad Didat. I'll give the platform over to him. Brother Yusuf Ismail will be talking on the quest for the historical Jesus, a man, myth or God.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. صدق الله العظيم. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that introduction to our respected Muslim and, of course, non-Muslim brothers and sisters, if there are any. We greet you with the Islamic greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which is the greetings of all the prophets of God, such as Moses, David, Solomon, Lut, Abraham, and many others. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon them all. We ask that Allah, our Creator and yours, in a sense, expand our minds in identifying the infinite and allow us to see the light and truth. For even though truth, as Albert Einstein suggested, is relative, there can only be one truth. Now, the purpose tonight, if you look at the topic, the quest for the historical Jesus, a man, myth, or God, the purpose effectively is to clarify a topic or a subject or a discourse, if I may call it, or even a controversy, which is innermost to all of the three major monotheistic faiths in the world today: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. All of them, we can find, share this kind of common connection. There is this nexus you find across the board, a common nexus to the historical analysis and, of course, to the purpose and very existence of Jesus Christ on earth today. And each of these particular faiths have a subjective worldview. They have a subjective view. Judaism has a particular view on Jesus. Christianity has a particular view on Jesus. Islam has a particular view on Jesus. What we need to do as individuals is to critically analyze, understand, and examine the historical, scientific, and in fact the scriptural evidence in respect of Jesus, and from that be able to distinguish and separate the wheat from the chaff. The point is, this is not something to debate or challenge. I don't stand here or debate or challenge. The main discussion that follows this particular discourse is that the disciples of Jesus were at some particular given point in time systematically eliminated, excluded, suppressed in history. And so the original Jesus, in other words, the original message and the original Jesus, who was a man in flesh and blood, who walked the earth, systematically fell away, disappeared from history. And subsequently you found a reconstructed Jesus, a Jesus which was reconstructed by Roman society. Therefore you find this particular diagram here. This was a reconstruction which was done by the BBC in 2000. In fact, as some have pointed out, not an identical portrait of Jesus himself, but something similar to an individual who would have lived in the time of Jesus, and a more closer approximation to what Jesus would have looked like had he been in existence today, as opposed to the kind of blonde, blue-eyed man that we are made to understand and basically perceive through the mass media and so on. Now, at the outset, this is basically a sensitive topic. And because of the sensitivity that's involved, some questions may be asked which some of you, both Muslim and of course if there are any Christians who are sitting here, may find unpalatable, in certain instances disturbing, riveting, uncomfortable. But as one particular writer had pointed out, that the truth which makes men free is the truth which in most instances men prefer not to hear. In fact, if you look at this particular character called Orwell, George Orwell, who wrote the book 1984 in the year 1948, he made quite a poignant remark in one of his writings. This was after the demise of Nazi Germany and when European society was being reconstructed. He said, in times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. And we find ourselves today living in a time of monumental deceit, be it on the religious scene, be it on the political establishment, be it on the social level. Constantly you find this kind of deceit on a basic premise, be it on religion or politics. And therefore none of what I'm going to state tonight would necessarily have, in inverted commas, an Islamic slant in the traditional sense of the word. Although, of course, we will be discussing the Islamic position of Jesus. You find that, of course, philosophers, religious teachers, and indeed history itself has literally compiled thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of documented material of blatant fact, misinformation, blatant disinformation, and at the same time fiction. This, in a sense,